Your skin is the largest organ in your body, also one of the most vital. There's nothing wrong in trying to take good care of it. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I am going to be talking about how to take care of your hair on a budget. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start. So as I mentioned before, your skin is the largest organ in your body, and your hair is also a part of your skin. The most common problem that every single person faces is hair fall. Hair fall can be analyzed from 4 different categories: your scalp, the length of your hair, the ends, or any health issues that you have. Starting with your scalp, the most common reason for hair fall is because of dandruff or your scalp not being clean enough. So the first thing that you need to do whenever you have such a problem is you need to target that and make sure you know what kind of hair you have. For example, if you have oily hair, you need to make sure that the scalp stays clean as much as it can. If you have a dry scalp, you need to make sure that you get the extra nourishment that it needs. Now coming to the length of the hair. If your hair is dry, brittle, and damaged, that can cause hair fall. And your ends, if you have split ends, that can cause damage as well, and easy breakage. So for the length, you need to make sure that you analyze your hair, see what the problems are, why it's falling out. It's for you to analyze. I cannot speak for everybody because my hair is different from somebody else's, and your hair could be different from someone else's. So I'm just going to give you the best tips to make sure that you take care of your hair. My hair is combined. It's both oily and dry. So I kind of mix up my routine to make sure that I target each and every issue. So if you have multiple issues like I do, using one type of oil is not going to help you. The most common mistake that I see people doing is they apply only one type of oil to their hair if they have multiple problems. The key is to use very small amounts of multiple oils. The oil that I found best for me was the Wow 10-in-1. So it targets 10 issues, and it has so many beneficial oils in it. If you can find an oil that's like this near you, then that would be great. So when it comes to the ends, I hear a lot of people just say that they just search for split ends and just cut them off. So if you are a person that snips your split ends, then that's absolutely fine. I'm not stopping you. But for those who don't, it's important to keep your hair as moisturized as possible. There is no product, let me repeat, no product in the world that can heal split ends. This is a common problem that a lot of people don't know, and they end up buying a whole bunch of products just for their split end. But breaking news, there's no such product. So how do you take care of your hair to make sure that you prevent split ends from occurring again after you snip them? The key is to keep them moisturized. And the most common mistake that I see people doing is they take a comb and they start combing their hair from the top, whereas the key is to start from the bottom and work your way upwards so that there are lesser knots and you lose lesser hair. And also it saves your ends from getting damaged. What a lot of people don't know is that hair fall actually happens because of a lot of health issues that people face. If you're anemic, if you have thyroid issues, if you have PCOS, issues with your hormones, or stress, or extreme exposure to sun or pollution, all these things impact your hair. There's a lot of factors that can contribute to hair fall, and you need to make sure that you analyze that properly. So if it's based on a health concern, just make sure you're taking the necessary steps to take care of that issue from within. So remember, if you're healthy from within, you'll get healthy looking hair and skin in no time. So for that, you're gonna need to do a couple of things to make sure that you are taking care of your internal self. First thing you need to make sure that you're taking in case you need them. I'm not recommending this to everybody, but in case you need them, you can take multivitamins, Or there's also vitamins in the market that promote healthy hair growth and healthy skin. That's hair, skin, and nails vitamins. So the next step in taking care of yourself internally is eating healthy. From our childhood, we've heard that spinach helps with hair growth, that healthy leafy greens help with hair growth. That is 100% correct. The very next thing that can keep you healthy from within is a very, very, very commonly told tip to keep your hair and skin healthy, as well as your body. That is drinking water. I've said this in my previous video as well. Drinking lots of water drains out toxins from your body and it helps you glow from within. Like I said, your skin is the largest organ of your body, and every organ in your body needs hydration. So for hydration, you need to drink lots of water to keep it healthy, to keep it balanced. When it comes to products, first you need to analyze what kind of hair you have. Do you have oily hair? Do you have dry hair? Do you have combination where it's both oily and dry, and everything of that sort? The most common type of product that you can prefer is products that don't have SLS, parabens, and sulfate. These three chemicals are very harsh and can damage your hair even further. I spoke to a beautician once and they told me that the most common thing that people don't realize is when they use a shampoo or conditioner that is not SLS, paraben, or sulfate free, what happens is they notice that their hair is super shiny and super glossy and super smooth in the first wash. That is because the chemicals are coating your hair. So when I spoke to this beautician, she told me that for that chemical to be completely drained out of your hair, it takes months, not days, not weeks, but months. So just make sure that you use chemical-free products in your hair because you don't want that damage to settle in. So make sure that when you use a shampoo or conditioner that it is SLS, paraben, or sulfate free. So when it comes to styling and drying, I'm not gonna say to stop using heat on your hair because for a lot of us it is essential to style our hair to make sure it looks presentable. But make sure that when you're using hot tools like hot irons or flat irons, you make sure that you use a heat protectant that protects your hair from damage, and make sure that that doesn't have any chemicals in it as well. So here are some tips that can keep your hair healthier and more maintained with less effort. When you first wash your hair, make sure you dry your hair with a microfiber towel. So a microfiber towel, so this is quite softer than the usual towels that we use for our hair. So when you're drying your hair, just make sure you dab like this instead of rubbing it into your hair. That can cause a lot of breakage. Microfiber towels also absorb a lot of water really quickly, so it's a much faster drying process. When you have a wet hair, always use a wide-toothed comb instead of a fine-toothed one. That prevents lesser damage, and also do the trick that I told you where you start from the bottom and work your way up. The very next tip is to say goodbye to these. Hair ties like these are pretty great. They do, stain your hair and everything, but I would use these very less often. So instead of using those hair ties, you can go ahead and invest on satin hair ties. They're not that expensive, but they are super, super gentle to the hair. Usually when you wear a hair tie, what happens is it leaves a dent in your hair. That's pressure on your hair, and it bends the hair and it damages the hair even further. But when you're using a satin hair tie, then it doesn't cause that much damage. Also, it doesn't leave a dent in your hair. I always use these when I'm at home. The very next thing that you can invest on is a satin pillowcase. This I got on Amazon for a very low price. So a satin pillow cover is it's pretty much similar to the satin hair tie. They don't cause as much friction as it would do with a normal cotton pillowcase. So basically the level of frizz in your hair kind of mellows down. I've been using Satin covers for the past 3 years and my hair has never looked better. So another major factor that causes hair fall is stress. So the most common thing that I see is that they become so conscious about the hair fall and they become so overly stressed about the issue, and that overstress actually causes more hair fall in return. So when you see a couple of strands coming out, don't freak out. Just be like, okay, it's fine. I'm taking care of my hair. It's gonna be okay. According to research, at least 100 strands of your hair fall out every day, at least. I know it's pretty easy to say not to stress out, but just try and mellow down as much as you can, especially women. Women have so many issues regarding their hormones and there's so much going on. In that process, they kind of go overboard when it comes to stressing. So I've been there, I've done that, and I've faced a lot of issues with hair fall, and I'm still in the process of recovering. I'm not an expert at these things, but this is what I do. This is my way of taking care of the hair, and I'm just giving you the best advice I can to make sure that you don't go out and spend a whole bunch of money on products that you don't need. Let me repeat myself. Make sure that you analyze each and every part of your hair to know what is actually going on with your hair, to know which kind of products you need to focus on those issues and then work your way into a healthier hair game. So let me know in the comments below what you think of my advice on hair care and what kind of products you use to take care of your hair. Also, if you've tried any of the hacks that I mentioned and if they worked for you or not, I'd really love to know. So that is all for today. Thank you so much for watching and see you next week. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up, the bell icon, and the subscribe button to know when I post next. Also, share if you like my videos.